Stay back, Wanderer. You are welcome to our camp, but our chief is not entertaining guests. Like so many of our warriors, he has been poisoned. Only his daughter may disturb his rest. Stay back. The king has waited too long. So many warriors have died, and Marima holds on to life by a thread. We will answer the king's call to the best of our ability, but I fear we can do very little. You should speak to Tamriel if you haven't already.
You approach the camp of the Ashaba. Unless you are here to help us, I suggest you turn around and go the other way. Faharajad sent you to ask for our help? Now? The nerve of this king. Well, if you seek my father, you should know he and many other of our warriors are extremely ill. Some are dead. Our water was poisoned. I suspect it was the necromancers, the withered hand, but it is of little importance now. All that matters is finding the ingredients for the antidote. If my father dies, there is no Ashaba for the king to call upon. Will you help me then? Come quickly then. Meet me at my tent in the camp.
Oh my. When will I learn not to trust? Aha! Perfect. You look like the fit sort. I wonder if you can assist me in an archaeological project of considerable importance. I came here searching for some rather valuable relics, but I've encountered something of a setback. Well, I discovered this fabulous portal in the Ayleid ruins. I sent my assistant through, and it was a mistake. The portal apparently leads to somewhere in the Grotwood, and basically he returned with the Aldmeri army at his heels. Yes, and unfortunately it seems they're now planning a full-scale invasion. Establishing a base, building siege weapons. We need to close the portal, quickly. I discovered an old tome that explains how, if I can find it again. You're a true hero, and I mean that. My camp is beside the ruins. That's where I left the book. Get the book, use it to activate the large pillars in the ruins. Then meet me inside the west door to the lower ruins. The portal's down there. I suppose that's a reasonable question. As you might imagine, the elves have locked the main entrance to the portal room. There is a back way, however, through an old prison of some sort. The pillars unlock the door into the prison. Oh, I haven't the foggiest notion what's in the prison. It's been centuries, though. Whatever was down there is surely dead. If not, well, you seem capable enough. And it can't be any worse than the damned elves. My researchers in High Rock gave me the essential background. Solace N was an Ayleid stronghold, built by human slaves in the Merethic era. The elves eventually got what they deserved during the Yokudan colonization of Hammerfell in the First Era. It's quite fascinating, really. It would seem to prove that the Altmer and the Ayleids were still connected further into the Merethic era than we believed. I actually wrote a book on the subject. Well, someone wrote it for me, but who's counting? Unless they're sporting Dominion armor as a fashion statement, I'm afraid so. If my assistant had half a brain, he would have let himself be captured rather than lead the Aldmeri troops back here. Well, we are at war, and an enemy army this deep into our territory would be a very bad thing. I would hate to think I destroyed the Daggerfall Covenant. Of course, it was really Stibben's fault. I suppose that's a reasonable question.
Hello. I was just tidying up. This was our camp before the elves came. Well, it was Lady Laurent's camp. I shouldn't say our anymore. Oh, goodness, what will I do? She fired me. Because it's all my fault. The Aldmeri. Lady Laurent sent me through the portal to investigate. When the elves saw me, I ran and led them to the portal. So now she hates me. Please, I beg you, will you help me get back in her good graces? Praise you, praise you. I'm trying to gather all her things, but her tools are scattered out in the ruins, and those are her most important possessions. If you'll get the tools for me, I just know she'll forgive me. I just know it. There's one more thing you should know. Lady Laurent hired this thuggish Tamian fellow. I believe she already asked him to recover her tools. You should speak to him up on the ramparts. Tell him we have it taken care of. Because he's a brute, and I need to be the one to give her the tools. If I can't make her forgive me, she'll just leave me here. And then what will I do? This is my only chance.
If it isn't my old friend from Crosswitch. Let me guess. Lady Laurent has you helping clean up this mess she made. Or is it Stibbons, the bootless coward? He's hoping Lady Laurent will forgive him. Did he? I'm surprised he could get that out through the whimpering and whining. Lady Laurent already has someone to recover her tools. And you would recover them and give Stibbons the credit? Just following orders. Even before this, Stibbons couldn't keep up, so Lady Laurent hired me. I was just getting a bird's eye view before getting to work. Say, though, if you were going to save Stibbons the trouble, why not help me instead? Well, for one thing, I'm better looking. For another, I'm actually getting paid. Stibbons was always just a glorified slave. Help me get the tools and I'll cut you in. It could be worse. Lady Laurent pays well, and she's got a pretty ambitious travel schedule. So I'm getting to see places I'd never dreamed of. Can't say this desert's one of the highlights, though. Did he? I'm surprised he could get that out. Well, did he? Just following? Well, for one thing, don't think too long. I'll go down there and get the tools myself if I have to. They're in backpacks, by the way. I bet Stibbons didn't even tell you that. I was wondering if you were going to ask that. Yeah, I snatched up a few tool bags earlier. But there's no reason for me to give them to you, is there? I suppose if you want to lug around the extra weight, I won't complain. Once you've got them all, though, just remember to bring them back to me, not Stibbins. Don't think too long. I'll go down there and get the tools myself.
You certainly made short work of those elves. There seem to be few odd skeletons down here. No problem for you, I'm sure. Now, I assume you found the old tome in my camp? Thank you very much. Fortunately, I can translate the ancient Iliad, and that should tell us how to close the portal. It's through this door right behind me. The problem is that it's locked, but it appears that it's controlled by a switch deeper in the ruins. Would you be a dear and find the switch? If only I could have someone like you around full time. If you'll get the switch, that will give me time to study up whatever words I need to speak to close the portal. Once you get it opened, I'll just go on in, so meet me in the portal room.
Before you speak, stranger, know this. For centuries, a spell has bound me. Many have tried to free me and failed. This prison has no lock or bonds to break. Did you hear me? This is no common spell. It was cast by Ultimate wizards long since dead. This is a true curse. The task is beyond you. Of course, a fool would still try. Do as you wish. I won't harbor faint hope. For centuries, amateurs like yourself have tried to release me. Fools, all of you. You'd have a better chance of becoming the next Emperor. It pains me to speak of the past. Would you force me to relive such bitter memories? Ha! Please! There's a word I remember well. Please, she said to me. No one will know, she promised. She was wrong. Nuralanya, she was called in her High Elven tongue. She was just Nura when we were together. I could deny her nothing. I was enthralled, a slave madly in love with his master. Our secret was eventually exposed, and the elves were furious. Our love was an abomination in their eyes. They decided execution was too kind a punishment for our crime. I was here. She was there. To see one another, but not able to hear, or touch, or hold. Yet even that torment was insufficient for their retribution. The elves wove a spell to extend my life and prolong my torment. Elves live a long time, but not forever. I sat and watched as Nura slowly grew old and died. Sometime after that, the Regatta came and slaughtered the other elves. But even with them dead, the spell held strong. It was the Regatta, the warrior wave. The warriors sought vengeance. The swords of Yakuta passed through these halls, and the High Elves were washed away. They would have killed me, were it not for this spell. Instead, I watched, safely ensconced within this prison, as my captors were slaughtered. Many centuries passed before I learned who the warriors were, or from whence they came. A foreign people had arrived on these shores. They came from a distant land. Yakuta, it was called. Yakutan warriors set out to conquer the new world they found. Singers named them the Regatta. It pains me to speak of the past. Would you... Fine. What would you ask of me? It was the Regatta, the warrior wave. Fine. What would you ask of me? If I knew, don't you think I would have escaped by now? All I know is the tiles must be used in the right order, and the order was determined by time, whatever that means. that to work. How are you doing that? You may be onto something. By the bloody fangs of Moloch! By the stench of Moloch's gaping maw! What have you done? How can this be? I'm free? I should thank you, but I don't even think this is what I wanted. It's been so long since my life was my own. This is all I know. I don't want to leave.
Folk I know and love would never utter such words.
Nura, is it really you? It's been so long.
We've suffered enough of this curse. By the grace of Mara, I've been allowed to take you beyond this mortal realm.
Finally, a release from the suffering of this world.
Come, my love. We have the rest of eternity to be together.
They have so much faith in that seal they put on the main door. They don't even have anyone guarding the portal. I'm not complaining, though. Are you ready to do this? All right. You're going to have to protect me, though. The chamber may be clear now, but as soon as I start the ritual, they'll realize it on the other side. They might try to charge through and stop us. All right, let's get this started. Go Rosso Take that, you damned elves! Oh, wait, I just lost my place. How do you pronounce this? Well, that takes care of that now, doesn't it? I'm actually quite relieved. It would have been so embarrassing to have been responsible for the fall of Alakir. After I opened the portal, I considered just leaving and denying that I was ever here. I am too. Now. If you would, though, I still would prefer to keep this quiet. I do have a reputation to uphold, you know. Finally. The elves came damn near ruining my entire expedition. Of course, Stibbons was really to blame. Regardless, I'll be glad to get back to studying the runes instead of skulking around and trying to hide from the elves.
Element of surprise already assures our victory.
Well, I think I've gathered up all of Lady Laurent's personal effects from the camp. I just need those tools from out in the ruins. I don't suppose you beat Tamian to them, did you? Praise the Eight! You just saved my reputation and my livelihood. Can I have the tools, then? Ha! Let's That sneaky Tamian fellow sure would be surprised. Hopefully now Lady Laurent will forgive me and realize we don't need any hired help. A mercenary. What in oblivion was she thinking? Oh, you are like a bottle of iced coliquiva in this dreary desert. Hopefully this will restore Lady Laurent's confidence in me. I still can't understand. How could she doubt me after so many years' service?